Disclaimer! The following episode contains spoilers for Season 2 of She-Ra and the Princesses of Power. Don't go crying to your mum if we spoil it for you. You've been warned. Welcome to Podcapers, the official podcast of a place to hang your cape. And this week, it's still the gayest thing ever, if not more so! Cue the music! Hello there, Capers, and as I said, welcome to Podcapers, the official podcast of a place to hang your cape. My name is Scott James Mirabal, and this is the show where we talk about various geek and nerd-related topics, and I'm joined each week by a very special different guest. Considering she was on the show last time we talked about this, it makes sense to have her back. Give it up, Capers, for Alex Mirabal!
Yay! It's the only other thing I talk about ever.
It's DC, She-Ra, and Dungeons and Dragons, and that's all you are.
That's my entire personality boiled down.
You're a very small person, Alex. I'm just joking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, ever since I first discovered, and as in traditional British fashion, I saw something that everyone was already aware of and said that I discovered it. When I discovered She-Ra and the Princesses of Power, I was instantly hyped and I loved it. I was eagerly anticipating the release of the second season. Alex was teasing me about it way back when with the release date, and it's finally here. Yay! And it came out the same day as Avengers Endgame. Or at least, it's the same day I was going to see Avengers Endgame, so I couldn't see it immediately. Thankfully, however, it did not take me long to catch up because the whole season is just 7 episodes.
It's half as many, a little bit over half of what it was last season.
Now, we're told by the powers that be, Noelle Stevenson, praise be unto her, that more episodes are coming. So it may be a case of we get half a season now and half a season somewhere down the line, as I am led to believe it's quite common with a lot of American shows. They do like half a season, then another half a season, which
not on streaming services. That's not a thing on streaming services.
No, not on Netflix, and I'm rather disappointed.
Actually, the only streaming service that is doing it is DC Universe. They're doing it with Young Justice.
Oh no!
The second half of season 3 is coming out in June.
And when that does come out, Capers, we will get to it. But we just couldn't wait for She-Ra. We just couldn't. But we're going to have to wait a little bit longer because something's been happening in the blogosphere, the info webs, the collective cultural unconsciousness of late, and it's caused a bit of a stir. And I think it's worth talking about. So we're just going to touch on it briefly before we go on to talking about She-Ra. Because there is only 7 episodes. There's only so much we can talk about. And we wanted to talk about this in more depth. I wanted to talk about it more with Mark Russell. But there just isn't enough to talk about it on its own at the moment. So we're just going to touch upon it now. Tell you our thoughts about what we know so far. What the fuck has been going on with the Sonic movie?
It looks like the greatest, worst thing to ever happen to humanity, and I'm going to see it on opening day.
I mean, God. I believe Mark Russell, actually, speaking of Mark Russell, he is going to do, or has done, a trailer write-up on A Place to Hang Your Cape. So, Capers, check that out. If we can provide a link in the show notes, if that times out, we will do. But if not, keep an eye out for that, because it's definitely worth talking about. But, oh dear God. So, first thing I want to talk about is the blatant, and I think disgraceful, cheap ploy they did with the trailer, including that classic song, Gangsta's Paradise, the whole way through. First of all, bizarre choice of music for a Sonic the Hedgehog movie trailer. I don't associate gangsters, or indeed the paradise of gangsters, with anything Sega related. And here's my little hypothesis as to why they included it. I'm going to get your thoughts in a second, Alex. I want to get this out.
Okay.
There's a lot of people online on YouTube who review things, who react to things, who do news and stuff for various pop culture things. And they do trailer reactions quite a lot. And it seems to be like a lot of people, even people who are new to the music, are getting copyright claimed when they react to the trailer. I suspect this may have been a ploy on Paramount/Sega's part to stop people from reacting to it in a too negative way and spreading the hate around, as it were. Usually
music stuff gets flagged immediately. Like that's not a manual thing. That's a that's an automatic thing that usually goes through for, and I don't think it's Paramount that owns. I don't think. Do they have a music company?
No, it might not be Paramount.
Does.
It might be whoever owns the Gangsta's Paradise song. But I still think Paramount may have put that song in there so the other people can claim it.
Okay.
It's all very mercenary. And
there's another really weird thing that 12 years ago, I found this out from Twitter, actually. Someone posted on January 4th, 2007, one of those like AMV videos where they like make their own music video out of clips from like video games or TV shows or something. Someone made one of Sonic to Gangsta's Paradise in 2007.
Oh.
And like his views are like exploding on YouTube right now. His description and like his first comment is like I knew it. There was going to be a live action Sonic movie based on my video, and everyone's been freaking out. This guy can see the future.
Is he the new Sega-based Nostradamus?
Yeah, only on Sega.
I mean, because that paints an even worse picture, because that means this trailer, this whole thing, is based, either intentionally or unintentionally, far more likely, on an idea that is over 10 years dated.
Yeah.
That's a horrifying thought. Not nearly as horrifying, though, as the actual design for Sonic itself. Now, I don't mind them updating Sonic's look a bit, as long as it's clearly recognizable and clearly Sonic and, you know, emulates the original design in a way that is, you know, acceptable and approachable.
Right.
But here's the thing, you're never going to get a truly, like, blended into this live action world Sonic the Hedgehog. You're just not going to be able to do that, because it's a fucking giant blue hedgehog wearing red trainers. Like, that's not going to happen. So it's going to be a little bit cartoony. They've opted, I mean, they made every single design choice possible that was going to make people hate it the most, aside from completely redesigning him and making, like, an orange iguana. Like,
yeah.
It's insane. So let's break it from the top down. Ears, fine. Quills, fine. Eyes, the most expressive part of any face. They're tiny, they're small, they're not part of that cycloptic thing, which I could kind of get behind if the eyes were sufficiently big and wide and expressive, because Sonic's eyes are big and wide and expressive. They're not. They're
so
small.
Tiny.
They're tiny and small and piggy. They're piggy eyes, and they're really unexpressive. They try and express them a little bit, but it's not that great. The mouth is way too small.
That's my favorite. That's my least favorite thing about him is those teeth. Why does he have baby teeth? I don't like it. I don't like that he has teeth.
They've given him like white fur instead of that peach like Caucasian skin color circle thing on like his arms and stuff and his hands, and I can kind of get behind that. That's all right. He's a hedgehog. I don't know why he's kind of shaved on his stomach there. But his hands, which are, you know, white fur, are so tiny. They're tiny little Trump hands. Ooh.
Yeah. Oh, God. They're like weird. They're like raccoons. I don't like it. I don't like anything about this. It looks like a child in his suit. He looks like a fucking Oompa Loompa.
They've stretched his body out in a weird way. Usually it's just like a circular thing with like arms and legs sticking out of it, which worked perfectly well. Now it's just stretched out. And this is a weird reaction, I'm willing to admit, and I've had some weird reactions on this show, let's be honest. But seeing live-action Sonic, and I've never had this reaction in any of the video games, any of the cartoons, anything. Seeing live-action Sonic, and seeing him in those shoes, just made him feel, to me, like he was all the more naked.
Yeah, yeah. When you give something shoes and nothing else, and usually he has gloves too. Like especially in live action, it's so obvious that he's naked at that point.
It's weird, and it's a stupid reaction to have. But it's like it'd be less rude if he was wearing nothing at all. I don't know. And it's just so uncomfortable, especially in that opening bit where you see him stretching and like expressing and flashing his bum hole at the camera. It's
well, you hear that they're changing it.
Well, we'll get to that.
Oh, okay.
We've got to break this shit down even further.
Yeah.
And so he teams up in this movie, we can only assume, with James Marsden, whatever, Cyclops from X-Men, which marks the second time he has teamed up with a grotesque CGI animal that he rides around with in a car.
Yep. That I've never seen Hop, but I am fully okay with the idea that this is a weird sequel to Hop.
Just like the same character, the guy who at the end of that movie. Okay, so and you know what? I would explain the premise of this movie Hop to you, because I saw the trailer for Hop years and years and years ago, and I thought it was pretty cool. And you know why? The trailer, I don't know if you saw the trailer was just that bunny putting together a drum kit and doing song 2 by Blur, and just that was the trailer, that was the teaser trailer. And I thought, well, that looks kind of cool. Interesting to see where they go with that. And where they go with that is it's a Russell Brand bunny that doesn't want to be the Easter Bunny, so he gives the job to Cyclops from the X-Men. That's what happens. James, Marsden becomes, I can never remember if it's James or Jason. It's James, isn't it? No, it's James.
I think it's James.
Yeah, James Marsden. It's James Marsden, not Jason Marsden. Jason Marsden is someone else, I think. Yes.
He has a very generic name.
He does. And, hey! My middle name is James. How dare you?
Yeah, how many other billions of people have James somewhere in their name?
Admittedly, a few. It's a family name! Shut up and choose it. Anyway, and so he's driving around with Sonic. And in fairness, they do the whole like spin dash thing with Sonic, and they include the sound effects from that. So that's kind of cool. And he's like got blue electricity flowing off him, like he's the fucking Flash. That's kind of cool. Right,
they're going like kind of really deep cut with the fact that the rings are teleporters, which I don't think is a thing that's in every game. And it's definitely not one of the most popular things.
I've no idea. I haven't played enough Sonic games to comment on that. But then, who should arrive but our Lord and Saviour? The only thing that would make this movie at all bearable under any circumstances. It's Jim Carrey, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh boy, he's doing what he does. He is Jim Carrey all the way through, and I guess that's like the best choice for Eggman, because that's Eggman, and I can see it.
I mean, for me, Eggman, I was always thinking more like a Michael Shannon type of vibe, you know?
Right.
No, because it's Jim Carrey. I love Jim Carrey. I think he has got range. You know, I've seen him do drama. He's good at drama. I've seen him do middle of the road stuff. He's good at middle of the road stuff. But he's also, like, his wheelhouse is the comedy stuff. It's good to see him back doing that. And
right.
It'll make the movie just bearable, just bearable. And the whole trailer is just one giant dumpster fire, topped off by an ending clip of Jim Carrey as Robotnik / Eggman, but like as he is in the actual cartoon / video games.
Yeah. It's horrifying.
So like, why don't you have him like that for the whole movie? But apparently like he's in an alternate dimension or something, because like he has to say, I've got to save your world, gotta go fast.
Yeah, so I gotta assume that's like the end of the movie. That's he becomes the like he gets teleported to Sonic's world and then becomes the villain of that world.
Or it's an alternate version of Jim Carrey who's always there. I don't know. We'll have to see the
movie
to find
like
out.
There's a Robotnik in that world too, maybe.
Possibly. Who knows? The same tribe people that have been plotted out for years and years and years. Because like, do you remember the He-Man movie? Speaking of She-Ra, as we're talking about, do you remember the He-Man movie?
Absolutely not.
There was a He-Man movie, a live-action He-Man movie starring Dolph Lundgren And the basic plot is He-Man and the Masters of the Universe travel to America.
Okay.
In a pink cat. Well, it's not in a pink Cadillac. They end up in a pink Cadillac at one point. Just want to come to that
like
visual in your mind.
It's the reverse of the Mario movie, because they start out in New York and end up in Dino City, which is where Bowser is. I know too much about that movie.
Take me down to the Dino City where the pterodactyls fly and the triceratops are pretty. I don't know. So it's basically that, and it's a very similar concept to that, and there have been many movies that have done that. Smurfs, Fat Albert, the list goes on. And it's just such a tired trope that was done in the 90s and early 2000s. And guess what? They're bringing it back. 5 millionth times the charm.
It's when they can't justify making a movie set in its own universe, they have to bring it to ours for some reason.
Yeah, because I mean, who would want to see a movie set in Mobius, that fantastic magical world filled with talking animals and huge, like, giant robots and, you know, all sorts of magical chaos emeralds flying around the place? Who wants that shit? We want pathetic, like, child endangerment jokes with James Marsden. That's what we want.
Just like, that joke makes no sense. Why would he say it that way? He's a normal person. He's not the character he's playing in Enchanted. He's a normal person. He knows how that's going to sound.
Enchanted is another example. Yes! Like, what rational, unreasonable person would say something that would draw so much attention? The police are going to arrive, and he's just like, well, I don't know how this could have been, you know, prevented. Maybe don't say you are kidnapping someone else's child, you cheek-boned moron.
Oh my god.
And the backlash against this was so intense and so severe. I like, if you go on the main page of YouTube, there is at least one video of someone describing just how utterly bad it is. Jim Sterling's done it, Angry Joe Vargas has done it, Yong Ye, lots and loads of people have commented on this. And guess what? The people at Sega and Paramount took fucking notice. And especially after some images started circulating of some people who, quote unquote, I don't know why I'm saying quote unquote, that's exactly what they did, fixed the design of Sonic with one that's much more similar. Like, there's two versions going around. One that's basically the video game character, and one that's a mix of the live action version and the video game character. I prefer the second one, that mix one. Just because,
yeah, I think that works better.
Just because it would be kind of lazy just to implant the video game version into the movie. But when it's a hybrid of it, it just works. It takes the strengths of the modern day CGI, however little money they put into that, and the classic design of the character, and it just looks so much better and expressive and fun and not nightmare-inducing. And it looks so much better, and they took notice of that, and they said, okay, thank you for the support. There was none. And thank you for the criticism. There was a lot. We've been listening. We hear you. And we're going to make design changes. It's going to happen. So, yeah. Turns out, when you've got 1,000,001 people screaming, this looks shit, the big bucks over at Paramount kind of shit their pants a little bit and realise, we better do something or we're going to lose a lot of money.
Yeah, I think the thing is, like, the as fast as they did that made me think that people were already internally yelling about this, and they just kind of guised it as, we're listening to the fans.
Oh, so, like, they used us as, like, the test for the design of the character.
Yeah, and didn't listen to anyone internally. And that's kind of a common thing with the recent, the bad recent Sonic games, is that they don't listen to the quality assurance testers. They just kind of go and do whatever they want, and then it comes out shitty.
Should we listen to the experts who know a lot about how these properties work before we release the thing that we're banking on making a lot of money? Or should we just release it and see what the initial reaction is and potentially lose a lot of money?
Right.
I go for option stupid.
Yeah. I actually feel really bad about, because they're not pushing back the release date, which means that a lot of people are going to be overworked and underpaid to just fix that model.
Or worse, they've already prepared for this moment and had the designs and, fixes already ready to go, which means they've been planning this from the start. I don't want to get too conspiracy theorist on this whole thing, but, I mean, look, there is... Yes, they've listened to us. That is good. Yes, they're going to implement design changes of the character. That is good. But there isn't going to be a happy ending on this unless the film itself is actually good in the long run. And even then, there might be a big asterisk next to the happy ending. This was not a good... I remember when they first released the first few images of before...
People were pissed.
Oh, people were pissed. And you'd think they would have taken notice then, but apparently it took them releasing, basically a shitty... tech demo reel to Gangsta's Paradise for them to realize just how badly they fucked up.
Maybe they thought it would look better in motion, and it just doesn't. It looks worse, actually.
Oh, it's all so... I mean, this some of the stuff has happened with video games. Like, they've had a bit of a backlash and they've implemented design changes before release. Has this ever really happened with a movie?
Not that I'm aware of, but I gotta imagine at some point, yes. Especially with this, modern era of...
I mean, the closest equivalent I could think of is when they cut out the quote-unquote gay scene from the Beauty and the Beast live-action remake in Malaysia. Heads up, Malaysia, you were missing nothing.
Right. That's something that happens all the time. They cut a million things from movies to get released in China. There's a funny article about what Game of Thrones looks like with the Chinese censorships, and it's just a really boring medieval show because there's no sex and there's no violence. But yeah, I mean, that's also their excuse for not having queer people in anything is because, we need to cater to the Chinese market, even though...
Because there's no Chinese gay people in that market.
Right. Well, I mean, it's also illegal, but
yeah, that it may be illegal, but they're still there. They still exist. You can't ban people out of existence.
It's illegal for a movie to portray that.
Yeah.
But Bohemian Rhapsody did come out heavily censored in China and did fairly well. So they really could just go all in and just edit it out later. Who gives a shit? And they don't, because it's a piss poor excuse of why there hasn't been any explicit queer people in Marvel until now, and even then it was bad. But Disney too, Disney, Marvel in general, don't do it.
Even though they keep saying they're going to, they have other properties where they do, and it's just do it in the mainstream, do it in the fucking mainstream, or else I'm going to throw a hissy like I haven't already. Ugh.
They think that TV shows can quell people, and they can't.
No, they can't. Thankfully, however, we've got a much better example of representation. Nice, neat little segue into She-Ra and the Princesses of Power. I love this show. I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it. Nothing else in my life caters to my dependency on extreme violence, cute and colourful cartoon characters, and proper representation. This is... It's a perfect Venn diagram of everything I love in pop culture. The only thing that's missing is space pirates.
Right. Well, I mean, we have a pirate. He's not from space, but he's a pirate.
Adventure! Oh God, say how. Right, so a bit of a recap before we go any further on season 1 of She-Ra. This is a story all about how a girl named Adora found out she was She-Ra, and then stuff happened, and I don't know the rest of the song. And yeah, it's. I mean, shit went down. Listen to our previous episode on She-Ra and the Princess of Power to get a full update, or just watch the show yourself if you haven't already. Shame on you if you haven't. And we pick up pretty much almost directly after season 1 left off, with the Whispering Woods still heavily damaged and the Citadel of Bright Moon still a bit
under repairs.
Still a bit under repairs, yeah. And meanwhile, the Horde are pressing their attack despite their previous loss due to the fact that Entrapta has switched sides and is building robots for them, the bitch.
I love her. She doesn't understand that what she's doing is wrong at all.
She makes it so hard for me to hate her. I know I just called her a bitch, but it's just like, I'm sorry, please forgive me, you tiny food-eating weirdo.
Oh god, she's so, like, she has zero at all, like, well, these people are letting me do research, why can they be bad?
I mean, I still think she... okay, I want to clarify this. I don't think she's a bad character. I think she's a very well-written character. I think she's a bad person because... yeah, she doesn't realise what she's doing is bad, but that kind of makes it worse. It's a perfect example of why we need ethics in scientific development. I learned about that a lot when I was in school, when I was studying psychology, about the importance of having ethics to guide science, and how you need to make sure that what you're doing is okay, because if it isn't, even if you don't mean any harm, you're going to do harm. And she's doing a lot of harm.
Yeah, she's definitely like I think she's a good parallel to, you know, like Catra, Scorpia, and Entrapta are all doing bad things for totally different reasons. Like they don't all have the same motivations, which I really like. They're not just all like the same kind of one-note supervillains.
And it just adds to the character development, and it's so refreshing to have this much different motivations on the villain side. Because sometimes you get a villain with a unique and interesting motivation. We've got 3, possibly even 4, as we learn later on in the season.
Oh, right, yeah.
And meanwhile, the princesses, She-Ra, Glimmer, and Bo, are just trying to hold them back and find a way to capture one of the new Horde bots.
Well, yeah. Also with the Alliance, the rest of the Alliance is also there now. They're fighting together finally.
Yes, including Snow Lady. What's her face? Frosta, who I swear has had a bit of a personality change.
Yeah, she really has. But I think like this first episode really like. It gives a good reason to that. Like like she's never really been in a group like this before. She's kind of always had to be this hard ass. And now that she gets the opportunity, she's a lot more kid-like. Yeah.
And she's taken a shine to Glimmer, who is not receptive to all this attention. And you'd think, actually, considering her story arc last season, she'd be a bit more receptive to a bit of idolation. But I guess not.
Right.
Oh, you still there?
A bit. Pretty much right off the bat.
Sorry, could you repeat all of that? Sorry.
Once she realizes what that entails, she's kind of done with that. She's given up. She's like, I don't need this. Leave me alone.
Oh no, why didn't someone tell me to be careful what I wished for?
Right.
And so they encounter these new Horde robots that are much more advanced, utilizing First One's technology. And it's quite difficult to get them all. And meanwhile, we're showing that Catra is just as obsessed, if not even more obsessed, about stopping She-Ra and everything about that. And in the kerfuffle, which the heroes manage to succeed, Bo discovers that Entrapta is still alive. Dun dun dun, because they thought she was dead. So like, oh no, Entrapta's been captured and has been forced by the enemy to build all these robots. We gotta save her. And then in the second episode, it turns out that the Horde have taken over Entrapta's home. So like, oh no, with Entrapta gone, they've captured, her home. We gotta save her. And so Bo and Glimmer go to save her, only to capture Catra. Try saying that 5 times fast.
Capture, 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 capture.
See, it's impossible. It's just impossible.
It's in the work.
And she shows her cerebral side of this. She's not just a fighter. It's what I like her. She's very good at starting to get very good at manipulating people. She's
Oh yeah.
She kind of plays off against each other and lots of things, and it's so nice to just see Bo just be so nice to her, even though she's so evil, and she just takes full advantage of it. And Glimmer, and she manipulates them in both in very different ways, taking advantage of their unique weaknesses. So she's becoming very strategic. It's very cool.
She's definitely like learned a lot from being a force captain, and has kind of become a little Shadow Weaver. Like, as much as she doesn't want to, she's become Shadow Weaver in some senses.
Oh yeah, and it ends up with a bit of a standoff between her and the rest of the Horde, including that other lady, that lizard person, Scorpia, and Kyle, who I still don't get why he has a job in the Horde. I mean, I love you, Kyle. I love you, buddy. You're a little cream puff, and I love you to bits. But, man, dear God, you're kind of useless. Why do they keep you around?
Yeah, I have a theory that he's also one of, like, the tons of orphans that the Horde just keeps collecting. That, like, a little bit later, like, Hordak suggests that there's just a pile of orphans somewhere that they just keep, and Kyle has to be one of those guys.
Oh, crap, I got another baby. Throw it onto the orphan pile. Whoop.
Yeah, we've got a baby pile going. Don't worry about it.
And whoever fights their way to the top of the baby pile should be crowned King Baby.
They'll become Force Captain.
Basically, yeah. And so they have a bit of standoff, but Bo is just like, we've got to be better than them. They wouldn't release me, or you, but we've got to do the right thing. So they hand her off, and then it's revealed to them that Entrapta is in fact working willingly for the Horde, and she just breaks Bo's heart into tiny little shreds, and Glimmer gets mad.
Yeah. Well, there's also this is like, Entrapta still thinks they abandoned her. She didn't know that they thought she was dead. So there's also that, like, she doesn't really think that they're her friends because they abandoned her.
Yeah, but she could have mentioned that, or at least reminded us of it, but, like, it doesn't play a lot into her motivation. She seems to be mainly concerned about the scientific pursuit. Yeah,
she's very happy to be. I mean, that's why they invade her country to begin with, or her kingdom, is because she needs that tech.
Basically, yeah, and it's, I mean, it would have been a very interesting idea, but the problem is that could have been easily resolved with one conversation. You left me to die! We thought you were dead. Like, we didn't leave you to die, we thought you were already dead and gone, and there was nothing to go back for. Oh, well, never mind then, okay.
Yeah, and Trappa's not really that kind of person to kind of accuse anyone of anything. She's just gonna go with the flow. Which is fair.
Fair enough. Meanwhile, Adora and Swiftwind, who I still can't get over the voice.
I can't. I hate it.
I mean, it's not a bad voice, and it's not a bad voice actor playing Swiftwind. But, like, do you know who I would have really liked to play Swiftwind? Danny Trejo.
Okay.
Hear me out on this. Like, Danny Trejo's a very good actor. He's been very prolific, been in lots of things, even some kids stuff. Like, he was in Spy Kids. Like,
oh yeah.
So I could kind of see him with his gruff voice, just like hanging out with us, like, "Hey, Adora, loop-de-loops." I can't do Danny Trejo, but you get the point. I kind of want that in my life. I kind of want that. Because, like, the original cartoon of She-Ra had Swiftwind had a very, very gruff voice, and it was kind of weird and off-putting in that show. In this show, I feel like it would fit even more.
Yeah, Danny Trejo's playing one of the animals in the Dora movie, which I just remembered about.
Dora the Explorer.
Yeah, he's playing Boots. I thought it was either Boots or Swiper, but he's playing Boots.
Oh, in the upcoming live-action one.
Yeah, and Benicio del Toro is playing Swiper. So Danny can do animal psychics.
That movie is gonna be weird.
It really is. I'm honestly surprised it's not being directed by Robert Rodriguez. This feels like so up his alley.
A guest director, Quentin Tarantino, but no.
Yeah.
And so they're bonding. They basically they go to what's her face, Light Hope. There's so many light, fluffy, flary names. It's difficult to get them all straight in my mind. But Light Hope, the ancient first one AI, is basically saying, "Hey, so I'm getting a bit bugged out right now. You're gonna need to do a systems diagnostic or something like." I don't know, Windows Defender clean install, something like that.
Yeah.
And so you got to go to this watchtower thing and bring it together and fix it on, and that should make things a lot better. It used to be destroyed by this person, Mara, who, if I remember correctly, was the first or previous She-Ra.
Yeah, she's mentioned a few times by Roz, and I think Light Hope says towards the end of the season that Mara was the last She-Ra, and she went evil.
And I just keep thinking of the god from the Elder Scrolls series.
Right.
It's like Mara, the goddess of wisdom, mercy, and compassion and love.
Yeah.
And it's like the kind of the deity you need to go to the temple of if you want to get married in game. That's what I keep thinking of. Right. I'm sorry. Or or worse, I keep thinking of like Mara Jade, the wife of Luke Skywalker. Like, okay, Mara Jade, I know you started off as a villain, but seriously, you had a son with Luke. What's going on there?
What did you do?
Just because you were written out of the new canon doesn't mean you don't have a place somewhere else.
Become a bad guy in a different timeline. I have a feeling that Mara's not actually the bad guy here. There's a lot of this show having, villains that aren't totally evil. I'm thinking that maybe we'll find out that, like, Light Hope or the first ones did something to Mara to set her off.
Yeah. Well, that's the great thing about this show is that it throws so many twists in you and so many interesting and unique and out-of-left-field character developments and so many complete and well-written character developments that it could go that way. It could go any way. And I know whatever they give us, it will be good and not cliched in the slightest. And so She-Ra and Swiftwind bond a bit. Swiftwind is rather annoying, and that's about it. And they fix the watchtower, and everything's great and all. And it's just like, and She-Ra, a sword now in these first few episodes, less so in the later episodes for some reason, can transform into shit. So she's been like, in the first episode, she was unsuccessfully turning it into like a picture or a mug or something. But later on, she turned into like an Indiana Jones whip or something, or like a Wonder Woman lasso of truth.
Yeah,
and so she's getting a bit better than that. But
yeah, I feel like if this was, and I'm sure that this isn't the full season. Once we get the full season, it'll be a little bit more that arc about her transforming stuff. She'll get a better handle on it and. It'll be more important.
And in these first few episodes, Catra, meanwhile, has been earning the favour of Lord Hordak,
right?
Who I keep thinking of as like a hipster bat Dracula.
Yeah, he even has... Did he have that baby bat last season?
I swear he did.
I don't know. That feels like it just like came out... I don't remember it at all. Maybe it's only because it was important this season.
But however, in the third episode, she starts to lose his favour quite a bit because she's starting to slip up quite a few times.
And he likes Entrapta now.
Oh, yeah, because Entrapta needs to find a proper tool to work with her scientific achievements, and she sneaks into Hordak's laboratory, despite the fact that it's severely off-limits, and she finds him conducting an experiment into multidimensional portals. Ooh, or portals at the very least. We don't know what kind of portals they are. And she's just like, oh, no, you're doing it all. Here, let me fix. And he just kind of stands to the side, kind of bemused and befuddled, like, what, why aren't you afraid? Be afraid of me. Why do you... Oh, you fixed it. Oh, you're useful. Huh. And it's kind of odd. I'm like, I could watch a sitcom with these two.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hordak's interest in Entrapta is really... I think we were all expecting him to be annoyed by her. And he is kind of... But he's mostly like, she is the smartest person on this planet of idiots. And that is weird.
Yeah, it's... Oh, and it's just so cool. And then Catra, she starts to get phased out a little bit. He's focusing more time with Entrapta. Because Catra is basically just looking for any kind of authority figure to give her any sort of praise.
Right.
It could be Adora, it could be Shadow Weaver, it could be Hordak. Someone, anyone. Jeez.
Right. But not Scorpia.
Oh, Scorpia, my sweet Babu.
Oh, she has such a crush on her, on Catra.
We're gonna get to that. Meanwhile, in this episode, Adora, Glimmer, and Bow go to this outpost of Alwyn, and they see, like, what appears to be several ghosts. Ooh, but no, they're not holograms, which was fucking obvious from the beginning of the episode. And their first one holograms, and it's kind of a neat moment to see this little glimpse into the past of these ancient beings.
Right.
And meanwhile, this weird sort of image gets stuck onto Bo's little first one tech device scannery thing, and that becomes a bit of a plot point for the whole season, or season so far. Next episode is my favorite episode in the history of all of reality.
Oh, yeah, I like that one.
It's called Roll With It, and it's the funniest shit you will ever see in your life. And so Scorpia has been left in charge by Catra in this sort of outpost thing, this fortress that's heavily guarded and heavily beweaponed, and the princesses are trying to figure out the best plan of attack to get it. And they do it in various styles of animation. Glimmer, for example, has a style of animation that's sort of like anime-esque, kind of like neo-noir anime kill the kills sort of vibe, I don't know.
Alright.
And it's very cool. But Bo's image of their plan and how it goes to go through is an obvious and direct homage to the original 1980s cartoon.
Yeah.
And it's fucking hilarious. Because...
honestly, this Catra looks better in that costume than original Catra did.
And he keeps making puns based on cat puns, and all the other characters going like, okay, this is too much. And he's got like the moustache that the original Bo had.
And She-Ra looks so uncomfortable in that like sexy outfit. She's just like looking at her, she's like, why? I don't like this. Everyone looks so uncomfortable in these outfits.
And everyone is all wearing hats. And it's, oh god, it's so funny. And they're like Perfumer and Froster and Mamister come up with all these weird ideas, including Mamister's idea, which is the best thing ever, Sea-Ra.
Yeah, Mamister's got like just a crazy crush on Adora, and I mean mostly She-Ra, but it shows really hard.
Well, she's not the only one, because Scorpia is clearly becoming more and more infatuated with, I mean, because, oh god, it's so funny. They keep on using the phrase best friends, but we all know that's code for fucking each other rigid.
Oh lord, yeah, no, Scorpia's really into Catra, and
I want them to be happy and together, but I also want Catra to be with Adora, but I also want Mamister to be with Adora, but I also want everyone to be with Adora.
Yeah, like everyone gets to love on Adora.
Can we just put all of these characters, every single one, into like a polyamorous relationship?
Right.
Everyone together.
Even Glimmer sees Catra as like this hot lady. Like, her version of Catra is this, like, sexy, like femme fatale villain with a cat on her shoulder. Like...
oh, God, this is for kids, dear God. And there's cool ideas involved, including, like, frost armor for Froster and, like, a plant golem for Perfumer.
Yeah,
and it's all a lot of fun. It's just a fun episode full of shipping and fun, but also some serious moments with She-Ra basically saying, guys, take this seriously, because do you know what the worst thing is that could happen? You all die. Get your shit together.
Like, you all die because I can't save you, and it'll be all my fault.
Yeah, and the voice actors really give it an all in that episode. Well, they do it in every episode, but especially in that one. It's you really hear the tension, and they They wipe the floor with Scorpia and the rest, and they save the day, and it's awesome. And then we get Whiteout, the next episode, and oh god, if you thought the tension, the romantic tension between Scorpia and Catra was big in the last one, this one, she keeps on saying to Catra, hey, I wonder if we had time to talk, to, you know, hang out. Go to her, kiss her, you fool! Oh,
Catra's just like, we're already hanging out. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh god, it's so it's so cute. They're so cute. I've never wanted villains to find love since Loki this much. Oh. Oh,
yeah.
Oh, my precious heart can't take it. I'm English. I'm not supposed to feel this much.
Well, I mean, this episode, like, it's not just like Scorpia and Catra. They're like the She-Ra stuff. Oh boy.
Oh yeah. So in this episode, they go to a polar region to get more First One technology, and Catra infects She-Ra's sword with this virus thing the same in last season. And it leaves Adora disabled and kind of drunk in the most adorable way possible.
Well, first, she almost kills Catra. Like,
she goes like full on like Superman with red kryptonite. Mode.
And then like, oh god, that moment where she like almost kills Catra and Catra's horrified. Like, that hurt.
Oh god! And Scorpia and Sea-Org have a heart and work out their issues with Sea-Org
about the women in their lives that ignore them.
Oh my god! This is a cartoon show aimed at children, and it's appealing to a nearly 27-year-old straight British man and. You, Alex. It's
I'm kind of the target demographic other than, like, children.
Yeah. You're kind of in there. I am far removed from this target audience, from this demographic, and yet I absolutely fucking love every second of this. Yeah. I was about to say, what's wrong with me? But more a case of, this just feels so right. This feels so right. And against Catra's orders, Scorpia destroys the virus thing, freeing Adora. Making her stop being adorable and drunk and stuff. And she rescues Catra. And, like, oh god, it's so cute with her carrying her in her big scorpion arms. And Scorpia gives such great hugs.
Yeah.
Oh god. And they share a blanket with each other on the boat ride back.
Yeah.
Oh god. And then we get to the next episode, the second to last episode. And it's called Light Spinner, and we get flashbacks sometimes to how this character Light Spinner became Shadow Weaver. Ooh.
Yeah, a little bit on the nose there.
Yeah. And
what's the opposite of Light Spinner?
Dark Sower? Anyway, and so yeah, and Hoylak says, you know what, we're not getting anything useful out of Shadow Weaver. Send her to Beast Island with all the other Transformers.
That sounds like something that would be like a season of Survivor like gimmick that year. It's like, and if you get voted out, you go to Beast Island and you battle back.
Shadow Weaver, remember to bring your tiki torch.
Yeah.
And Catra is not happy about that because A, she wants some more information from Shadow Weaver, and B, she still has feelings for her.
Mm-hmm.
And,
yeah.
Oh god, it's such a twisted relationship.
Oh yeah, it's like super abusive parent, like, and Shadow Weaver does not hesitate for a second to play on that.
Oh yeah, she full on manipulates Catra to give her older, like, badge of office or whatever that has some secret, like, power crystal cocaine, and she gets back her powers and disappears, meaning she's gone completely. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, they're still trying to sort out this mysterious message that they got in when they went to that ghost hologram village. and they find out it concerns Mara and the name Serenia.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's kind of mysterious. It's revealed in the next episode that Bo has 2 dads!
I love his dads. I love them so much. And I love that, like, they hinted at the super dark backstory, and it's just that he has 2 really overprotective dads.
Named George and Lance looks like he gives warm, soft, supportive hugs.
Oh, yeah, I love them. They're the best.
Oh my god! I mean, it's not a great scenario for Bo because they want him to be historian, and he's been lying to them this whole time about his past fighting in the rebellion. But I don't care because his fathers are amazing, and his George is a moustache.
He has the Bo mustache. Like, he has the OG Bo mustache.
They look like custom characters you could create in that online sort of YouTube streamer video game Dream Daddy.
Oh my god. Yeah, there's one, I think it's George, who looks like a character from Dream Daddy, like, actually.
Yeah, it's pretty. I mean, these are some men right here.
Yeah, they are Dream Daddies.
And yeah, and it's unambiguously 100% they are a gay couple who have raised 13 children.
Yeah, because are they all boys? They mentioned that he has brothers, but I mean, of course, like, law of odds, I would hope so. Like, like, I would, like, at some point, I mean, unless I would imagine he has a brother, but I think it's kind of hinted at that they're all boys. It's
difficult to tell. Maybe we'll find out later. We do know that, like, they're all historians or something similarly academic.
Yeah, and he's the youngest.
And Bo is the youngest. Oh, Bo's the youngest. And he's been pretending that he's gone to, like, this boarding school, and Adora and Glimmer are both students there as well. And then they're also, it's very much a case of, like, ooh, will they find out? But it's just like so many cute things happening at the same time. Oh my god! And when Adora reveals that she can read the first one language to the 2 historian dads, it's a huge thing, and they make cute noises, cute squeaks of excitement.
I love seeing when Glimmer sees Bo's outfit when he's at home, and they zoom in on his midriff, and it's not exposed.
No, what are you doing?
She's like, what did they do to you?
By covering up, he looks more naked.
What did they do to you? Yeah. He's not Bo anymore.
It's not right. And seeing him panic when he thinks his dads are about to discover him, it's just, the whole episode is just hilarious. And also, it's a very touching moment at the end.
Adora having to...
Yeah?
I was just saying, Adora, when, like, she has to figure out, like, she can't remember what she said her major was, so she just, like, acts like herself and is like, no, yeah, I'm like a 6 major person. I've got history and linguistics and art and Shira. Like, at all.
Oh god! And then a giant robot turns up and they have to fight it, and everything is revealed, and then it comes out, and of course the dads accept Bo for who he really is, and it's really sweet.
Yeah,
and they hug it out, and it's just like...
And there's not even, like, a hesitation. They're, like, more mad at him for lying, and they're even barely mad at him for that because they blame themselves.
Yeah, there's a line where Bo
had to lie.
Bo says, "So wait, you're not mad?" And I kept expecting George to say, "Oh, we're very mad, but because you lied, not because of who you are."
No, they blame themselves. Like, Lance gets so upset. He's like, "You lied because you felt we couldn't be supportive of you, and that's our fault."
And they cry.
Oh, I love them. They're the best.
And we even get a bit of a cute dynamic with Glimmer and Bo, because he's kept this hidden from Adora and Glimmer as well, and they're not very happy about that. Especially Glimmer.
Glimmer thinks that he's been like lying to her about his personality, and he's like, no, I've been lying to them about my personality. You know everything about me.
Yeah, and honestly, this kind of hit close to home, because my parents and my family are very different from me personality-wise. Right. And I kind of identified with Bo a lot in this episode, because as much as I love my family, I do kind of have to police myself and monitor how I act a bit more when I'm around them than I do when I'm around friends or just by myself. And so I identify with this quite a bit. It's yeah.
Yeah, I think it's something that's unfortunately common.
Yeah, I mean, I've never lied to my parents like this, dear God, but it's not a fun scenario for anyone. No, what else is a fun scenario? Catra being summoned by Hordak to explain, hey, did you send Shadow Weaver to Beast Island? Yes? Liar!
Yeah, that's the baby. The baby sold her out.
Evil demon baby sold her out, and she gets some punishment and like an atmosphere sucker out of thing. Yeah. And we end this 7th episode run with Shadow Weaver appearing while Adora sleeps. Dun dun dun.
She's probably gonna try to like defect and switch over, and I hope that they just like don't. They don't trust Shadow Weaver. God, and Adora is probably gonna try to trust Shadow Weaver, and Glimmer's gonna have to talk her out of it.
Oh God, it's so much happening. And yeah, that's the end, and that's the end of the season. Unless we get more episodes. Do we have a date for when we get more episodes?
No, Noelle literally just said very soon.
Well, how fucking specific. Thanks, Noelle.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I think that it's because the day the episodes came out, like, it's not just the day like Endgame had its wide release. It was also Lesbian Visibility Day.
Ah.
Which makes me think that they didn't have the second half of the season totally finished, and so they wanted to, just throw up the first 7 and then do the next later, and because they didn't want to push back the date.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense, but I wish that there was a little bit more transparency there, because I don't know if these new episodes are the second half of season 2, because she literally just said more episodes, so it could just be we're moving on to season 3. Season 7 is just really, or season 2 is just really short.
Yeah, and the reception so far for this first half of season 2 has been uniformly positive.
Right. I think that kind of the general consensus is, okay, this doesn't feel like a full season. Can we get a full season?
Yeah, I'd much rather wait for a full season than just get half of one. But if it comes out pretty timely, I'm willing to wait like a month or something.
Yeah, I think that it won't be too long. I think they're just doing it weird because like DreamWorks, like it's the same studio that made Voltron, and they posted weird things like at weird times. And I don't like, as much as that show went downhill, I don't think that actually affected it. Like, it came out the way it was supposed to come out, even if it wasn't good. There's no sense that something happened with production where they were rushed in any way. So it could just be that that's how weird DreamWorks animation studio, TV studio is.
Yeah.
Which I think there probably should be more consistency there.
Yeah, I think you're right, but you know what? I'm just glad we got more She-Ra right now. Like, I'm happy. I'm satisfied to a certain degree. I'm lying. I want more. I want more now. Oh, God. You know what? I don't know. Who knows? You could give any reason for why they didn't release them all. Like, Sandra Oh could only turn up for one episode, you know?
Yeah, she was in the first episode. I'm like, oh, So she's gonna be like a major player this season, and her and Glimmer's mom I don't think show up once the entire rest of the season.
No, it's literally just that one episode and then they're gone. And
Yeah.
we don't get any really new characters either, actually, thinking about it.
Yeah, I think really other than Bo's dads, I think literally we don't see anyone new.
Yeah. Oh, we learn the name of the lizard guy.
Yeah, I think he had a name, it just wasn't said in the show. And I honestly cannot remember what it is. It's like something with an R.
I think it's Reginald. I could be wrong.
I thought it was like Ronaldo? I don't know.
Ronaldo.
Lizard boy She-Ra.
Boop-a-doop-a-doo. Look it up.
That's not helpful. Okay. Lizard. Rogelio.
Yeah, sure, because that's a name that people have. Yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah, I mean it is. It's a weird lizard name, I guess.
Rogelio. Yeah.
And Lonnie is the other character's name that he's always hanging out with.
Oh, yeah. And, of course, Kyle. Sweet baby Kyle.
Right.
Yeah. And I could have sworn that the actors playing George and Lance, I've heard their work before, but I've never heard of these actors. Chris Jai Alex and Reggie Davis. They don't have a Wikipedia or anything like that, so I don't know what they've done. But they're great choices because they're both very distinct voices, very distinct characterizations, but they play off well of each other, and it's so cute. It's so cute. I thought perhaps Lance might have been Kevin Michael Richardson. Am I getting that name right? No.
I don't know.
Am I thinking?
Just a bunch of typing.
Kevin Michael Richardson. He's a very well-known, prolific voice actor. He's done countless stuff. Yeah, Kevin Michael Richardson. If you ever watch a cartoon, you've seen his work in it. Oh, no, I know who he is. I think he was Officer Blubbs in Gravity Falls.
Oh, okay.
And
yeah,
so,
I'm looking at I think the guy who plays George, Chris Jai Alex, and yeah, I really haven't seen him in anything. It says his best known, he was in the Thundercats show from this year.
Oh, the new one.
Yeah. There's also on a few episodes of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, but I don't know that show.
I don't know about it either. I don't. All I know is that beginning bit of JoJo's Bizarre Adventures takes place in Britain in like the 1800s, the Victorian times, and just like, you know what, Japan? I'm gonna let you do Britain in the Victorian era, and I'm gonna stay far away from it. You do you, Japan. You do you.
Yeah, he does very few live action appearances. He's kind of all animated.
In fairness, actually, I was going to say in fairness, most of them don't, but actually there's quite a few that do. Amy Carrero, Karen Fukuhara, Angie McChalka, Marcus Scribner, Sandra Oh, as we say, Lorraine Toussaint, Genesis Rodriguez,
Marcus Scribner. Like they are all most of the cast are really big or semi-big on-screen stars.
Absolutely. So they've been on the big screen, they've been on the small screen, but you know what? They're coming to the printed page because it's been announced that there's going to be a She-Ra Princesses of Power graphic novel titled She-Ra the Legend of the Fire Princess, and it's coming out really, really soon, and by soon I mean February 2020. What?
Too long.
I see it on the Amazon.com, not even on the Amazon.co.uk website. It's just sitting there, and this title will be released on February 4th, 2020. Hooray.
Hey, that's right around when Birds of Prey is coming out. I'll get a twofer that month.
Oh, something to save up for. And... okay, so I'm just going to say the blurb that they've released for this. Even after everything that's happened, the world outside the Horde's walls is still a strange one to Adora. Every day she's learning more about her growing powers as She-Ra, including something new, the ability to heal corrupted rune stones, like the Black Garnet, the big stone things. Rune stones are the magical source for which princesses like Frostum, Mista, and Perfuma draw their power, but Glimmer knows of another rune stone, one with a dark past. Long ago, a fire princess ruled the lands to the west until her thirst for power corrupted her and led to the ruin of her kingdom. Glimmer thinks the long-lost fire runestone could give the rebellion an edge in the fight against the Horde, but claiming this ancient power won't be easy, especially not when the Horde has their eyes set on the same prize. And it's written by Noelle Stevenson.
Yep.
Wait, actually, no, sorry. Hey, it's based on stories by Noelle Stevenson.
No, it's based on stories, yeah. So she wrote the stories, but it's different people. Gigi DG and Paulina Ganuchow? I don't know. But I'm glad that there's... Yeah.
I'm all put off by Gigi DG.
Seemingly feminine names. I'm glad that they're working on this. I wouldn't want... Yeah, I think that's good that they're having women work on the comic.
Okay, well, about the author, they say Pauline, French name, is a comic artist and illustrator based wherever a computer lives. She's funny. She's graduated from Savannah College of Art and the creator of Lemon Bird, and the co-creator of Zodiac Star Force, published by Dark Horse Comics. And they say the author is someone called Betsy Peterschmidt.
Weird, because the people on the front are not that weird. That's weird.
I don't know. Maybe GGDG is a pseudonym, but then why would they say anything about Betsy Peterschmidt? Who knows?
I'm looking at her stuff right now, and she's an artist and a... So she seems to do a lot of both. She does writing and art.
Well, I'm looking it up. So Betsy Peterschmidt is going to do some of the art, and as well as Eva de la Cruz, and it's going to be GGDG who's going to write it.
Awesome. I am so down. These people look great.
They do look great, and this all looks so great, but it's so far away. It's like just under a year. Fuck.
Right. Too long.
No, I want it now. I'm a spoiled fucking so-and-so, and I want it. Daddy, I want it now!
I think episodes or season 3 or something, which is why it's coming out so far away, is because they want to give a window for those episodes to come out.
Probably, yes, but that doesn't say. I want She-Ra. I want the She-Ra. Oh god, I want it, but I'm satiated for the moment. For the moment, I've got enough She-Ra stuff to tide me over, and if not, I've always got the Sonic trailer to distract me for a second.
Oh god.
One day we'll get a half-decent video game. And on that day, the world will end, because it's a sign of the coming apocalypse.
Yeah, I hope it'll happen. I don't think it will. I think there's games that lend themselves well to movies, but I don't know why no one's really tried. I mean, the only one that people have tried to do is Assassin's Creed, and they focus on art.
Sorry, you cut out. Could you go back to saying Assassin's Creed?
Yeah, the only game that they've tried that I think would have a good movie story is Assassin's Creed, and they focused on the wrong parts of Assassin's Creed that people give a shit about.
You know what? I went to see that movie, and I fell asleep after about 15 minutes and woke up at the very end.
Yep, that sounds about right.
I never fall asleep in movies. It was fucking unbelievable. And I love Assassin's Creed. I'm a huge... I'm still playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey right now.
So am I. Yeah, I came back to the series. I had 100% completed every game up until Unity. Unity broke my heart. I stopped playing them, and then I came back with it, Odyssey, and I love Odyssey.
Oh wait, so you haven't played like Syndicate or Origins?
Or Origins? No, I haven't played either Syndicate or Origins. I played every like mainline. My favorite ones are the Ezio games, but yeah, after Unity, I'd never even finished Unity. I couldn't get through it. It was a buggy mess, and I just gave up. I thought that's it. The series is over. After Desmond died, that's when the series ended. We don't have to think about anything else. And then they kept going. I really like Odyssey.
Odyssey is really good. I do like it, but it's such a fucking huge game. It's actually kind of I go through long periods of playing it and I get exhausted and I leave it and I come back to it. I picked it up like 3 different times, played huge stretches of it, literally weeks and weeks of playing it, and I still haven't finished it. Fucking hell. Really?
I kind of go in really long bursts. So I finished the main story. I'm working on the DLC now. And I'm really upset about the DLC. I like it. It's fun, but I don't like it because they force you to be straight. I don't like that.
Oh yeah, because because it's ancient Greece and everything goes. You have your choice of sexual partners.
Right. Yeah. But they force you. No matter what you do, no matter what you say, you could be the worst fucking person to this guy if you're playing against Cassandra and a girl if you're playing against Alexios. But you will still fuck him and you will still have a kid with him.
Because they gotta perpetuate the bloodline.
But they don't, though.
Well, geez, tell us how you really feel.
The sibling you don't play as is the DNA you're using. They could have been the one that had a child. It doesn't matter that it has to be you. It doesn't have to be you.
Can we not just give us fucking gay character ships, Ubisoft?
And I slept with everyone in that game. My Cassandra was bi as hell. This guy is too boring for me to even. He's boring and just obnoxious. His dad is way cooler. I would sleep with his dad.
I don't think I'm up to that point yet, so. But I've been playing it really careful with my my romantic partners in the game because I went for this one character in it early on in the game, and I thought, wait a minute, did she do something bad? Ooh, and since then I've become a bit more selective. And
no, I'm not selective at. I got with Alcibiades every time he offered himself up.
I
have been with literally everyone.
You know he's got something. You know he must be riddled.
The only time it's ever been a problem is that there was a weird side quest where I slept with 2 brothers. They both found out and they both got mad at me.
Yeah. Oh, fucking course. You didn't see that coming? Jeez.
Yeah, it was once they started the romance thing with the second brother that oh no, I didn't even like your brother that much. Oh no.
Oh, Alex, stop sleeping with people in Assassin's Creed. Stop that. Yeah.
It's not gonna happen. They gave me that choice. I'm gonna use it. That's what I try to do in Mass Effect too. All of them. I tried to get with as many possible people as I could, which is not really that possible because they kind of restrict you to one person at a time.
Jeez. And even in the later games, they
people out how to do it.
Oh god! If they ever resurrect Mass Effect, just make it a free for all romance-wise.
Yeah. Let me have everyone.
Even the people that don't look like they have actual genitals, like they're just alien blobs. Sex with those, please. We were talking about She-Ra at one point.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we're going to end the show there. It's been a good sort of second season. Look forward to something better later on. And here's hoping for a better video game movie in the future. Pika Pika! What was that? That's probably nothing important. Thank you very much, Alex, for joining me today.
Yeah, no problem.
And if you enjoy the show, Capers, please tell your friends. Shout it from the rooftops! And if you haven't already, go back and listen to some of our other super episodes, like our last She-Ra episode. That was a lot of fun. And you can listen to the show on iTunes, Podbean, YouTube, Spotify, or at podcapers.com. We have a Patreon. Check out the rewards. Patreon.com/AP2HYC. If you want to get in touch with us, suggest show topics, or maybe come on the show yourself. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at AP2HYC, or email us at podcapers@ap2hyc.com. Thank you very much to Dan Harris for our logo, the lovely microphone, the red and blue 3D glasses, those are mine. And thank you for listening. This has been Podcapers, the official podcast of a place to hang your cape. Cue the music!